Hey, this is Drafting with Jeff, and we're starting another draft here on Tapped Out. I got my favorite card, Evolving Wilds, which is very, very good in a multicolored draft. I think it might actually be the strongest card in the pack. Yeah, let's go with that, Evolving Wilds. Why not? We'll be a rogue. We'll be a rogue drafter. Another one of my favorite cards. Orator of Ojutai. Yeah, let's go with that. Just drafting crazy here. Ooh, protection from dragons. Enoch Survivalist. Zephyr Scribe. Enoch Survivalist. We'll take the Enoch Survivalist. He can morph. We are when we're doing multicolor, we are high prioritizing morphs. Haven't seen much removal yet. Let's pick a Guardian Shield. Ooh, Student of Ojutai. Was perfect in a multicolor deck. Take the reduce in stature. Oh, Seismic Rupture. Perfect. It's awesome in a multicolored deck. This card is sweet. Let's look at our deck so far. Got a couple early 2-drops. We got some big butts. Orator of Ojutai and Student of Ojutai. And it does very well with the Seismic Rupture. Seismic Rupture dealing 2 damage to each creature without flying. Deadly Wanderings. There's one. That's an interesting potentially multicolored wombo combo. Let's go for it. Another monster. And the morphs are really good in multicolored drafts, so I'd suggest picking up as many of these as you can when you're going multicolored. Lifelink. Lifelink is very good in multicolored as well. But I have heard this isn't a very good card just because it's 2 toughness for 4 mana. It just doesn't really make the vanilla flavor, whatever you call it, test or cut. Let's pick this one. It doesn't match its relative strength compared to other cards of the same equal value of casting cost. So it doesn't meet the required stats for a playable card. 3/2 for 4 mana is overpriced. It has lifelink, which, I think you can break all these rules of Magic, to be honest, which we are doing. We are breaking a lot of rules right now. Let's go with another. Well, we don't have any removal. Yeah, we'll take the Sarkon's Rage. Almost made a big mistake there. I was going to take the Student of Ojutai, but considering we don't have any removal, let's just start nabbing this stuff up. Alright, we got a good dragon in our colors. I like that. Tail Slash. It's not really like primo removal, We have a Silumgar Monument. Let's take the Monument. So we have 1, 2, 3 removal spells in our deck so far. I guess you could consider him as like temporary removal. You have a sideboard removal card. Sweet, another Evolving Wilds. Always gotta take those, but everything else. I'll take a sheltered area here. We're just going crazy here. Though we're not really... I don't know where this is going, to be honest, but it's often the way it is in the multicolored realm. We do have... Oh, okay. Let's pick up another... You know, Zephyr Scribe's good, but it's going to be hard to get him down on turn whatever, so... This guy's a morph. One dragon. Got one Orator of Ojutai. Nice. Another Seismic Rapture. Can never pick up too many. Can never have too many of these in your deck. Just wipe the board. The Ancestral Statue here could go very well with our Orator of Ojutai or our Monetary Lore Master. Monetary Lore Master. And I think we'll pick up another Student of Ojutai. 3 Student of Ojutai? Sure. So we don't really have a big win condition yet. We're still lacking removal. But there's a removal card. Vial of Dragonfire. Gets the job done. 2 damage to target creature. 2 to play. To put on the battlefield. 2 to sacrifice. And we'll pick up the Silumgar Butcher. We don't have much black, but yeah. It's the best card in the pack there. Even Tactician or Grave Purge? Ooh, and what do we open? Sweet Bomb. That was perfect in our deck too. Yeah, I'll take that. We got 2 dragons. 2. Oh, I should have picked up that other card which had the sweet counter synergy. Whenever you put a counter on a creature, we just passed that that white flyer. What is going on? I always get past this. Whenever I go 5 color, I always seem to pick up a Silumgar. Well, the removal is starting to flow, but pick up another dragon. Whoa! Pick up another dragon. Okay, and now we really got to consider our mana considerations. So pick up a Blossoming Sand, pick up a Rugged Highland, pick up another Rugged Highland, got 1, 2, 3, 4. Too bad we didn't have more of these guys. Nice. We need the removal big time, and we're not going to pass it up this time. Dark Deal. It's apparently not a very good card, but Generation Cleric. Hey, Ancestral Statue might go well with a Ration Cleric. Need that. Let's pick up an Ration Cleric. Oh, Enoch Guide or Scoured Baron? Scoured. We have 1, 2 Evolving Wilds. He really sure does fix up your mana real nice. I don't know if that was a mistake or what or not. Enhanced Awareness or Whisk Away? Pretty light on removal. Mind you, we don't have any card draw ability. Enhanced Awareness. Oh, right of Undoing. Interesting card. Channel Harm. I always like a Channel Harm in a deck like this. Refocus. Tap target creature, draw a card. Sure. Oh. Picked up a Cunning Strike. Sweet. Nobody left this entire draft. So cool. So this is a real authentic draft. See what everyone else picked up. A lot of commands, Whisper, Necromancer, and ours with and our first pick with the Evolving Wilds. Oh yeah. Everybody else gets a sweet uncommon or rare, and what do we get? Evolving Wilds. Oh yeah, baby. Right into Orator of Ojutai. See what our opponents are. So the opponent to our left was going red-black, and the opponent to our right was going black-blue. So that's where possibly a lot of the... Oh, he was taking the Evolving Wilds. Well, damn. So that's possibly where a lot of the good removal would have been sent off to. Okay, let's go build her up. Let's go build this deck. Got tons and tons of dragons. It's gonna be crazy. We didn't get enough dragon synergy, unfortunately. It would have been nice to pick up more of the Orators. Like 4 of these would have been sweet. And I have had decks like that. We got 2 Monastery Lore Masters, pretty good, which is not a bad thing to have. We have 1, 2, 3, 4. Got 4 sweet dragons. The only thing that I am a bit disconcerted about is the counter synergy with Enduring Scale Lord. It would have been nice to pick up some like more bolster effects. I remember we passed it, that Aven Flyer for 2-3, I think it is, or it's a Is it yeah, it's a 2-3, I think, and you bolster one. And that would have been sweet with the Endurance Scale Lord, but we didn't pick that one up. A little bit afraid. We didn't get very good removal. We got, like, how many removal spells do we have here? Like, we do have a good sideboard removal card. We got 1, 2. I guess Reduce in Stature could be considered a removal spell. We got Channel Harm 3, Cutting Strike 4. It's pretty pricey though. 5, 6, 7, 8. Well, we got some removal, but not like all. Our good removal is like pretty expensive to cast, and we're gonna want to be able to like deal with our opponent on like turn 2 or 3. And I guess those Seismic Raptures might come in handy quite a bit. We got a Deadly Wanderings. Here, let's just do the old Mythic spoiler view. We got 3 Student of Ujotais. I mean, that could be something. That might keep us in the game. Got some good sideboard removal. And I'm wondering if this Deadly Wanderings, how this is going to fare out. I mean, you get a nice dragon out. You get this out, a nice dragon. I mean, that's going to be pretty beefy, if you ask me. Reduce in Stature is kind of crappy, but I mean, we're not really the type of deck that this is really going to, you know, punish us for using it. Like, this would punish like an aggressive deck, because the aggressive deck wants to remove your creatures and then beat in, whereas this gets rid of the creature, but the guy can still block for 1 turn. I mean, I played a guy and he had like 2 of these, I think, and then it was like he was trying to beat down in the same time as cast this on my guys, and it was like, okay, you cast it on my guy, okay, I'll block now. Oh, you cast it on my other guy? Okay, I'll block with him too. So I ended up like effectively like gaining like 5 turns, and by that time my board was just developed and I took over the game. So where is our sideboard? No sideboard? Oh, no sideboard. Okay. Oh, everything was main deck. We didn't actually have a sideboard. So yeah, I'll put this together and let you know what we came up with. This is Drafting with Jeff. Okay, so this is the deck that we came up with. And I figured out a way to make it easier to view your decks on here. You can actually do the spoiler view, so you can have all your cards laid out in front of you. And so what we did was I took it down to 12 creatures and 11 spells and 17 land. Some of the cards I ended up excluding that I would have loved to put in the deck were the Cunning Strike, which we're still going to consider in the sideboard, the Deadly Wanderings. You know, I played this card many times, and the Deadly Wanderings oftentimes just doesn't do anything. But I'm still considering whether it's a playable card or not. I didn't add the Dromoka Doomcaster, I didn't add the Endurance Scale Lord, which would have been one of my considerations as well. I was really unhappy about taking out another dragon, considering we have Ujotai, Atarka World Render, and those two would go, and like any dragon with those 2 cards is just sweet. I took out one of the Student of Ujotais just because I didn't feel that we had, like, I wanted to add all 3, and I might later. It's just really difficult to fit everything in your deck, and I'll show you what we came up with. Here, I'll do the visual spoiler view. So we got 5 2-drops. We got 6 3-drops. We got 4 4-drops. Got 4 5-drops. We got 2 6-drops and 2 7-drops. And so let me explain how this deck is supposed to work. Sheesh. Okay, we got... I want to include as many 2-drops as possible, because I just find, like, in any deck, whether it's an aggressive deck or a multicolored deck, that just your 2-drop space, just you need lots of them. You need, like, I'm leaning towards like 4 minimum, and 5 is like almost minimum. Like 4 is bare minimum. Like you don't want to lose on turn 2. You want to have things you can do on turn 2. And what we have, what we have here is we have our Anok Guide, who can get us the lands we need. We got the Anok Survivalist, which I was almost going to cut him, but I mean, just killing that enchantment can be so good. And he's just, he's just there for the 2-drop, 2-slot, nothing fancy. Got the Orator of Ojutai, just, get him down as a 0/4 blocker and hopefully draw a card. Got the Vial of Dragonfire, which just, helps you survive in the early game. You can kill, when you sacrifice it, you can do 2 damage to a creature. I got, for 3-drops, we got 2 Seismic Ruptures, which I think are pretty sweet if you can pull that off and take out a whole bunch of creatures. I think that's sweet. We have the Sheltered Area and the Silumgar Monument for our mana ramp and mana fixing. We have a Reduce in Stature, which is one of our removal spells. We have a Grave Purge, and this is the first time I've ever put this in a deck, but I think it's just sweet because every time I play my dragons, and obviously they're prime targets for removal, and with this thing you can just bring them all back. And not to mention we can bring back our Monastery Lore Masters. So that's a sweet combo I figured out. If you get this plus 2 of these, you get infinity. You can bring these guys back for infinity. Well, you can bring this guy back for infinity with just this one, but he doesn't do anything except for keep bringing this card back over and over again. But if you have 2, you can bring back any card with this one, so one of your removal spells, and then you get him down next turn. Bring back your Grave Purge, and then when these 2 die, you can do the same thing over and over again. We got 2 Student of Ojutais. I'd really like to get a 3rd, but it's just, like I said, it's hard to fit everything, and I really like these. It's almost like between the Student of Ojutai and one of the Monastery Lore Masters. It's just, these guys can be so good. We're light on removal, and he can bring back any one of our removal spells. Not to mention our Grave Purge. But we're gonna test this deck out. I think a number of rounds. I'm suspecting maybe we'll do 5, maybe 6, 7 rounds. Just keep testing this deck over and over again and seeing what would work best. We got our card draw advantage. We have, that's our enhanced awareness. Lets us get extra cards to get into our dragons or our removal or our lands or anything we need. We got our Reach of Shadows. We have Sarkhan's Rage. I put in the Silumgar's Butcher, and I'm just not so sure, like, would the Student of Ojutai be better than the Silumgar? But we're so light on removal that sometimes you just want to kill that flyer, or sometimes you just want to kill that whatever, that unblockable, or that creature that you just can't deal with, and we're just so light on removal that I think he deserves a slot. And then I added the Channel Harm because I think it's so good. It is easy to play around, and we could side it out, but most people aren't going to be expecting it in the first time you play it on them. They're not going to be expecting the Channel Harm. Not too many people play it. But then after you've played it once and they know you have it, you can always side it out for something different. And I just like it. Like, there's some red decks that'll just like dash at you, and then they're going to put all their mana into killing you, and then you just play this, and then you can just like prevent them from killing you that turn and kill one of their best creatures. It's just, I've had so much success with this card. And so to look at what we took out, like I said, we took out the Student of Vizhutai, we took out the Endurian Scale Lord, which it pains me so much. I mean, we have these 3 super dragons. It would be nice to have like just another kind of mediocre dragon, but something to combo out with our Atarka World Render. And I did just test this deck out, just to let you know. I didn't record the match, but I won against a blue-black deck. I was quite happy about that, and he almost killed me. He had me down to 6, and I won. I got my Ojutai, and he was searching. He was doing the search on the 4 cards of his deck with his exploit creature, the Gurmag Drowner, and he was casting that other card that rebounds. You can look for 2 cards on the top of your deck and then do it again. And he was just searching, trying to find something. He had nothing. He had a dragon out of his own, and he had actually the Deadly Wanderings, and he had us down to 6 life, and he just had no answer. It was like I cast my Ojutai, tap him down, swing for 5. The next turn, cast my Atarka World Render. Cast him, then cast my Atarka World Render, swing for 10. He was up to 28 life. And then it was just like, he's now up to 26, bring him down to 16, and then it was just like, cast that, and then it was like, threaten 22 damage next turn, and he had no answer. And we do have some good sideboard cards, like a Return to Earth, or a Surge of Righteousness, Cunning Strike, or a Cunning Strike. One card I am looking at, which is kind of odd, is the Ancestral Statue. I'm just thinking it could combo out well with our Orator of Vizhutai. We could maybe draw 2 cards with that, or we could combo out with our Anok Survivalist or our Anok Guide. We could, this card right here, basically what it does is when Ancestral Statue enters the battlefield, return a non-land permanent you control to its owner's hand. So we have to bounce one of our own creatures or any of our permanents, and that could, we could bounce our Orator of Vizhutai, use that twice, draw 2 cards. We could bounce our Anok Survivalist twice and kill 2 enchantments. We could bounce our Monastery Lore Master and get a second use out of it. But I can't think of anything I want to take out. It also let us use our Silumgar Butcher twice. And this is also a good defense against a pacifism. If God puts a pacifism on your creature, you cast him, bounce your creature back to your hand, and not to mention it is a 3/4 for 4 mana, which isn't too bad. It's just the only thing I can think of taking out is one of our 2-drops, and I don't want to be stuck on turn 2 without a turn 2 play. Considering we are a slower deck, and I don't want to take out a Monastery Lore Master or a Silumgar Butcher, so we might put it in and just test it and see. But the other thing I think of was taking out our Channel Harm, but I hate taking out an instant removal spell over a creature, because, see, one thing I learned in Magic sorry, excuse me, this is like, I'm still learning how to do this, but, one thing I've learned in Magic is, for example, if you're down in the game and you draw an Ancestral Statue, he doesn't do very much. I mean, you cast him, you got a 3/4, you still lose. Whereas if you draw a card like a Channel Harm or a Sarkon's Rage or a Reach of Shadows, they do things right away. They affect the board right away. Like if you cast the Ancestral Statue and let's say he has 1 creature and he's going to kill you next turn, and you use your Ancestral Statue to block, but he just removes your Ancestral Statue. He can't remove any of your instant removal cards unless he has a counter. And there's a lot more chances that he doesn't have a counter and he has a removal spell than he has a counter. So that's sort of my logic there. And just going through the lands here, I got 5 forest for just we seem to be those seems to be the cards we want to be playing the soonest, like our 2-drops and our Sheltered Aeries to get our extra colors. And we have our Blossoming Sands, which gives us a 6th source of green. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 sources of green. 7, 8 with our Rugged Highlands, and our Evolving Wilds can always get us there as well. I put in 1, 2, 3, 4, 2 mountains and 2 Rugged Highlands. So 4 sources of red, because I really want to be able to cast these Seismic Ruptures early in the game. I got 1 swamp and 1 island to go with our monument, so that's going to give us 2 sources of each, plus our Evolving Wilds, which we can search for them. So that's theoretical 4 potential sources, plus with our Aenoch Guide 5, and then with our Sheltered Area 6 sources. And 6 is good. 6, I mean, you're bound to draw it eventually, and the reason why those ones are have the least amount of sources that we can get those mana, our black or blue mana from, is all of our blue and black plays are pretty much late plays, except for our Reduce in Stature, our Silumgar Butcher, our Reach of Shadows, our Silumgar Butcher. They're all turn 4, turn 6 plays, and there's a good chance that we do draw one of these colors by that time. What else can I say about this deck? Yeah, it seemed pretty sweet. I tested it out. The thing I'm just not so sure about is maybe take out the Orator of Ojutai and put in another Student of Ojutai. Like, this guy is sweet. Like, once you get this guy down, your opponents just want to kill it, but we only got 2. If we had 3, it would be like, okay, you kill it, cast another one. You kill it, we cast another one. Might almost be better than the Orator of Ojutai. It's just such a tough position we're in here. Like, it seems like we have everything. We don't have any more room in our deck. And I don't want to take out the Grave Purge, which I think would be really sweet in this deck. I mean, we can bring back our... It basically turns any of our creatures into a 3rd creature. So theoretically we do have 3 Student of Ojutais. We do have 3 Monastery Lore Masters. We do have 2 Orators of Ojutais. We do have 2 Aenoch Survivalists. We do have 2 of any of these that there's 1 of. I think that's sweet. Like, late game, can you imagine bringing back 3 dragons, 2 Monastery Lore Masters, 2 Student of Ojutais, just all of our sweet bombs just go on the top of our deck. I mean, that is pretty powerful. Like, okay, we bring back boom, 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 and then boom. So that way, if he kills any of these, we're still like, boom, bring this back, boom, boom, bring that back. So yeah, yeah, that's, I don't know what else to say. Couple cards we could side in are the Irashen Cleric, the Dromoka Dunecaster, another Student of Ojutai, or the if we run up against some really quick decks, a deck with a lot of 2 toughness creatures, we could bring in the Cunning Strikes or the Cunning Strike. Yeah, that's it. So we'll see ya in round 1. Okay, this is Drafting with Jeff.